If you like what I make and want to help out the channel, make sure you subscribe to it, turn on notifications, leave a like on the video below, and comment as well. Thanks for your support, guys.
Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko. Another day, another video for you guys. Welcome to How to Guild, a brand new series about creating a guild, establishing your own guild, and getting a guild to be better. I don't know, whatever you want to do. This series is all about guilding, how to make a structure that works, how to get a guild from 0 to 100, and have fun while doing it. This first episode is all about like the general concepts of things. We're going to look at a high level of guilding, and then from there on, each episode will go a little more in detail into more specific things. Now, before we start, I'm going to ask you two things. Number one, leave me a comment below with questions about guilds. Not about like how is this guild like that and who is that person in that guild and all that stuff. Specific questions about how to create a guild, how to get your guild to be better, how to choose a guild and things like that. And I will pick some of the questions from the next few episodes. I'm going to ask you every episode to do this for a little while and do a Q&A video with answering pretty much every question that I see that is, you know, actually a question that's worth addressing. The second thing I'm going to tell you is smash the like button. If we hit 300 likes, I will make a special video interviewing a guild leader who has been doing it for so long that this leader has a lot of experience, is a very cool person, is very liked in the community, and can give you a lot of good tips on how to build a top tier guild. So 300 likes and we'll make that video happen. That video is not planned right now. If I see the 300 likes hit, we'll plan it out and stick it somewhere within the schedule. Let's get right ahead into the first episode. And this episode, as I said, is all about the basics and the overall arch. So let's start with the base ranks. If you don't know what the technically 5 ranks within a guild are, you have the R5, the guild leader, the R4s, which are the management team, the R1 through 3, which are essentially the guild members separated into 3 different categories. Each guild has their own way of like creating these categories, and you know, I'm not going to go into all that because to each guild their own. You can be creative with that. That's the beauty of these 3 ranks. Now, the only thing that I'm going to say here is that there's going to be episodes specifically about R4s and R5s, what they should and shouldn't do, and just in general, like what a good guild leader and what good R4s are within a guild, within an ecosystem of a guild. You have a few pointers on the screen of what I believe are roles that these ranks need to pretty much fill and be part of. And we'll go into more detail in one of these videos, upcoming videos, about specifically rank 4s and rank 5s. I want to talk about general things when it comes to the management team, and that's the rank 4s and rank 5 of a guild. Here's a list of do's and don'ts that I think should apply to every guild in order to be successful. A guild has to be fun. A guild has to have a positive attitude, an attitude that makes me want to go and talk in chat for hours with people and interact with people online. And that only happens if the attitude is positive within the guild, if members are helped, encouraged, and motivated to be the best members they can be, the best players they can be, the strongest players they can be, and achieve the goals that they set for themselves, as well as achieve the guild's goals. That also comes with rewarding members who actually help the guild, who actually do the things that you expect members to do and go beyond it. And it doesn't necessarily mean send them speed ups or resources and all that stuff. Even a guild mail from an R4 and R5 saying, listen, this member is a boss, he lost 2 million troops yesterday helping out, saving some leader from our guild, thank you very much, you're an awesome human being, big shout out to you. That makes a lot of people's day better. Believe it or not, as an R4, your word means more. If you say something, it sounds stupid, but members from the rank 1 through 3 will definitely appreciate an R4 sending a shout out to them. So reward your members here and there. The most important thing though in the do's list is point 3 and 4, which are you got to learn to forgive, forget, understand, and step away essentially. Some members will do things that you might not necessarily 100% agree with, but they don't harm the guild. They don't harm the culture of the guild. They do help the guild in some shape or form. Even though you don't like it, sometimes you need to learn to step away and not rage at the person, not, call them out, not to kick them. You sometimes need to be a little more forgiving. And also to members that might have been inactive for a week, a member had some rough things happening in real life. He didn't feel like sharing it with you ahead of time, kind of thing. He disappeared for a week. He logged in, but he didn't do much, you know. He didn't fight. He didn't join any quests. He didn't do anything. Like, you're like, hey, what's going on, man? He tells you, listen, something came up. You gotta learn to forgive and forget and let the people keep playing, you know. Sometimes things happen. To a certain extent, you gotta be a little more patient with members. Here's the deal, though. The list of don'ts, in my opinion, is much more important. First of all, the first pointer is probably the biggest one. You cannot use line chat, guild mails, or guild chat to spread mass hysteria and negativity, okay? Yelling at people for not joining rallies and saying tonight someone will get kicked, or someone did something they shouldn't do and you call them a fucking retard and kick them, or even worse, you know, you start cussing people out, being like, this is the disgraceful of a guild where all these things, and it that never helps. That never helps. And every single guild has done this in the past, okay? This is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be aware of and move on, you know? Just make sure that you keep that in the back of your head, that you don't necessarily want to spread mass hysteria. Sometimes, like, hey guys, you wake up, you know, you guys are messing up, is a message that is necessary. But it can be written in a more encouraging way than in a you guys suck kind of way. You gotta remember to treat every single member with respect. If they're in your guild, they're guild members, they all are equal. You do not talk down to them, not in line, not in guild chat, not in guild mail. In private, do whatever you want. But within the context of a full guild, you do not talk less to any member. As a management team, when you do that, you tell every other member that they have the right to do the same. That's a no bueno. And that's the same thing with negativity. The moment you establish a fact that it's okay to say, listen, we gotta kick people. Listen, we gotta, I don't know, zero this one guy. We gotta do this. Oh, we gotta get people to send resources because they're not doing anything. When people have the idea that that's okay for them to do, it's because the management team made them feel it's okay to do. You also got to remember that you shouldn't allow, you and other members should not rage, threaten, or disrespect any other member in public. This is a very big no-no. Even if the member is your titan and is the biggest egomaniac you have and you need him in the guild, he still needs to understand the culture of the guild, which should be positive. Or else, the guild is not fun. You will rotate through a lot of members and you will find yourself fighting and hating and just in shit most of the time, you know? You don't want to do that. You want to enjoy your time in the guild and you want to make your members enjoy their time in the guild. The management team enjoys the guild a little bit less per se. We'll get to that in a future video. Now here's a few basic things about an R5 that this is again an overall arch of what I think an R5 needs to be. An R5 needs to lead by example. An R5 needs to know how to delegate to his R4's jobs, tasks, and give them the independence to do it. An R5 should not micromanage the delegated tasks. An R5 should let their R4s do their thing the way they find it fit in order to achieve the goal, as long as it's not impacting the guild's culture. If a certain person decides that they want to be the bank and they want to give 4 different members R3s the password to the bank to help them, that doesn't affect your guild's culture. Even if you're an R5 and you don't like so many people having access to bank, you gave this one R4 the responsibility of banking. Respect it and let him do his thing. You gotta also be able to keep an open mind. You gotta understand that a lot of people think differently, see things differently. You should be able to accept the way other people act, behave, talk. Some people, especially if English is not their first language, will say things in ways that you don't necessarily understand, or you understand wrong, which happens a lot. You gotta keep an open mind and understand that sometimes you might have understood something that is not what it was intended to be. And also, of course, allow people to be a little more creative, to express, both give feedback, criticize, as well as compliment. You gotta be able to keep your mind open. And the last thing I said here that you gotta be able to do is reward initiatives. A lot of guilds make R3s a very special position. Only those who are actually essential to the guild become R3s, and those guys are set. Those are the people that showed initiative to help, showed initiative to do different things, from being helpful with banks to being helpful running farms. I don't know, any initiative in your guild that helps your guild fulfill its destiny, its goals, should be rewarded. What you shouldn't do is, as I said, micromanage, and most importantly, lead with emotions. Now, I've gotten into significant fights because of the first point, okay? I've gotten into significant fights because of the first point. Because sometimes, when emotions get involved, judgment fades, in the sense that it's not that the person doesn't have any judgment left, but just they feel so strongly about something that when you say something that is not exactly to their liking, they take it more personally than they should. And it happened plenty of times in the 2 guilds that I've been in. Actually, technically in the 3 guilds that I've been in my whole time in Lords Mobile. It happened in every single one of them. It's okay. It does happen. We're all humans. Just learn to say, okay, at this point in time, I've been leading with emotions and getting into conversations and into arguments for about an hour now, and it's time for me to step away. You need to be able to notice these things. Let's look at the R4s list very quickly. Again, lead by example. Just like an R5, you cannot expect your members to do something that you wouldn't be able to do. You cannot expect your members to be positive, fun, helpful, reinforcing, spenders, if you're not one. Now, it doesn't mean that as an R5 has to be like the most like rich person who spends most money in the guild. I'm not talking about that. But you have to be able to lead by example, in the sense that the positivity, the drive to fight, the drive to conquer the goals you set for yourself and for your guild. And once you do that, your members around you will do the same. They look at you and they take you as, again, as an example and as a role model per se. Take responsibility. If you don't have a damn job in the guild, you shouldn't be an R4. Straight up. And there are a lot of unnecessary R4s. And some guilds, by the way, do allow that. Some guilds make 15 R4s and they don't care. This guy's an R4 because he's my friend. Nothing about that. He accepts people every now and then. Nothing too serious. Sure, if that's the kind of guild you're building, then sure. But if you're building a guild where your management team is actually like a management team of an organization, either have a role or a job, or get out, or just be the dud R4. That's okay. Even guilds that have roles and all these things do have some dud R4s. That's cool, but ideally you should strive for more. That's my opinion, at least. As I said earlier, you got to be respectful to everyone, and you more than anyone should take initiatives to get the guild to a better place and to motivate people to take initiatives or to join your initiatives to make the guild a better place. What are initiatives? We're going to talk more in detail about that in a future video. And just like the last rank, you know, never lead with emotions. Learn to step away when you're getting angry, when you're getting frustrated, when you're taking something too personally. And most importantly, do not abuse your power. I've known way too many R4s who have abused their position as R4s to get something more than they would have been if they were R3s. And I'm not going to go into many details. A lot of people, I'm sure, know what I'm talking about, because in their guild, they had the one R4 who did send messages that he shouldn't have sent, gotten things that you shouldn't have gotten just because he was an R4. Don't do that, man. You'll get caught. You're just making a bad name for yourself and for your guild. It's just stupid. Quickly, 4 different roles I think an R4 can take. There's the lead R4. We'll go into detail more later on. If you want to read this slide, I suggest you pause the video, read it out really quickly, and then listen to what I got to say. There's the lead R4, who essentially is the closest friend to the R5, and it runs the guild while the R5 is not there. Banker, recruiter, diplomat, logistics guy. There's so many different roles you can take. You can be the statistician, the guy that gathers all the numbers and data within your guild of resources sent and troops lost and kills and all that stuff. You can be the war general, the one guy that when war's on, it's your voice that matters more than anyone else's, and everyone knows that when war happens and you're talking, no one else talks in chat. That's a position an R4 can hold, 100%. We got to the end, right? The last slide. In the next video, there's probably going to be like an end slide, so I, have a heads up kind of thing. But anyway, the video got anyway way too long at 14 minutes and some. I'm going to cut it out right here and tell you guys thank you for sticking with me. This was a very general video just to get people started. Some of you might already know most of this, so I apologize if this video was useless to you. I do, though, think that the next few videos will be very interesting for many people. And honestly, I still find myself helping certain R4s, not from necessarily from my guild, but from other guilds that I know, people that I know, groups that I'm in, that I hear things, that I see things, and I'm like, yo, listen, if you do this, if you change that, if you know, just try this, try that, try this. And I see people doing a lot better as management, you know. So I do hope that these videos will help you guys be better R4s, R5s, and even members within a guild. And if you want to be a guild leader one day, heck, go for it, man. Just remember, there is a way to do things and there is a system. And if you don't have certain things in place, including a goal for your guild and things like that, you'll never get anywhere. You really will never get anywhere, and it's just gonna waste your time. Thank you guys very much for sticking with me for so long. Again, 300 likes and I will make that interview video I talked about early on. I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. See you in the next How to Guild episode, which should be coming out sooner than you think. Cheers, guys.